Chi-Town, run me back.
Get my cash right, cause I spent it all last night. Said I'm good to go, only if the bag right. Hit it, then you know I gotta do the dash right. Told her how I'm living, welcome to the fast. Get my cash right, cause I spent it all last night. Said I'm good to go, only if the bag right. Hit it, then you know I gotta do the dash right. Told her how I'm living, welcome to the fast life. It's the life I chose, living on the road. Let's go take a trip, got a couple shows. We don't even vote, but you know we taking polls. I don't ever stay in place, girl, I gotta go. Get my bag though, I don't even got a pack though. They don't even know me, come and leave through the back though. Ass whoa, they been living hella fast though. When they hit the brakes, that's when I go and hit the gas though. Don't get too attached, cause you know that I can't stay. Yeah, I hit the road, I don't even need a place. Life is like a phase, got a lot up on my plate. Finish that tomorrow, cause I gotta live today. Get my cash right, cause I spent it all last night. Said I'm good to go, only if the bag right. Hit it, then you know I gotta do the dash right. Told her how I'm living, welcome to the fast. Get my cash right, cause I spent it all last night. Said I'm good to go, only if the bag right. Hit it, then you know I gotta do the dash right. Told her how I'm living, welcome to the fast life.
Fast life, new chains. Shout out to Kicks and Dale. Y'all better wish me well. Too sick on a different trail. You know how I get down when it comes to the bag. When it comes to the raps, gotta pick up the racks. I'm running them laps, good ass weed. Waiting on me at the spot. Promoters, they loving a nigga, they send a deposit, I'm sending the drops. I'm running around with the baddest, she get the fetty and I get the why. Business on the scene, might like the doors, I forgot the shop. No money is out of my range, need to hit the foreign exchange. Turn this cash to USD, right before I hit my plane. That's when I butter my drinks, then I convert and wrote my verse to this. Right after my champagne, I'm counting my money like damn, I work for this. Woo, now I'm landing, left you where you standing. Guess who still can't trust these hoes, I live with my bandit. I got shit to do, you can't fuck up my planning. If I wanna see tomorrow, then I gotta let it dang.
Get my cash right, cause I spent it all last night. Said I'm good to go, only if the bag right. Hit it, then you know I gotta do the dash right. Told her how I'm living, welcome to the fast life.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got a different background tonight, guys. As you guys can see, this is one of those live stream, fake out YouTube premiere things. But, guys, unfortunately, I'm unable to go live tonight for our full 2 hours. I had some things urgently come up. That's why I'm still here at the Hit Network. But I didn't want to leave you guys completely in the dark for the weekend price action, so I want to give you guys this quick little fake out live stream market update. We've done these before. I see everybody in chat popping off. Maybe a Band-Aid just gifted 5 Frankie Candles memberships. Shout out to Maybe a Band-Aid for always doing that for us and giving away that CandleMafia love like we love to do. Shout out to all our mods. We got Crypto Billy, Rob the Crypto Snob, Tyler Durden. You guys know who they are. Chemistry Bro. Tony D's not in here, but, you know, whatever. I think Tony D quit. No, I'm just kidding, guys. Shout out to Tony D. He's in chat as well. You guys are already talking to him. But guys, I want to give you this quick urgent market update. And I don't want it to be like urgent as in like warning. But I just didn't want to leave you guys in the dark for the weekend. We will be moving the giveaway to next week. We'll either do it on Monday. I'll let you guys vote if you want to do the giveaways on Monday, or if you guys just want to move everything and roll over and do a double giveaway on Friday, we can do that. I know you guys like to do those massive giveaways that empty my bank account. But I'm happy to do it. So don't forget to smash that like button. Every 100 likes you guys get to spin on that wheel of pain and pleasure, but we're just going to have to roll over those spins to next week. But, guys, without further ado, shout out to Dave Digital, shout out to Creighton C, we got Tanner A, Hannah King, Jessica, our female CandleMafia representative. I see you in the chat. Shout out to Crypto Billy. But, yeah, guys, I'm not going to waste too much more time here. Let's go ahead and jump right into the chart so I can give you a little bit of an update on what the heck this thing Bitcoin is doing. Are we finding a range? Are we finding support? And if we lose the support, where are we likely to go down to? Now, I am holding the microphone in my hand here, guys, because this little tripod that it's on is kind of short here. Like, that's a little too far away for me. But, guys, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts and try to figure out what the heck this thing Bitcoin wants to do. Here we are on the Bitcoin chart here, guys. And like I said, I'm going to keep things simple, right? Because really, for the past week or so, we really haven't seen much happen, right? We got this big, massive dump on last Thursday on the 17th. We got the fast, massive move down to our value area low. I'm actually going to get rid of this range real quick. And by that range, I mean that one, not the big one. But as you guys can see here, we basically got that big move down on the 17th, and we have found support, well, where we thought we would find support, right on that value area low. Shout out to the volume profiles. But with that being said, guys, we are starting to find a little bit of support here, but I kind of want to leave you guys with a bullish case and a bearish case today, just because money flow is a little bit wish-washy. So I'm going to go over some of the bearish signals, some of the bullish puzzle pieces here. I'll try to give you guys which way I'm leaning, at least in the short term and the medium term. And then, we will go ahead and break down those key levels, and I will have you guys prepared whether we get a breakdown below this level potentially over the weekend or next week, or if we start getting a move to the upside. With that being said, guys, let's go ahead and come on up to the weekly time frame. You can see here our VWAP is starting to look like it wants to roll over. However, we do have, I would say, more bearish signals on the weekly than bullish. Although this VWAP looks like it may want to roll over to the upside, we do have our money flow generally trending down, which would be a little bit more of a bearish signal. And on top of that, you have the confirmed bearish divergence on the weekly with your higher high on your price action and your lower highs on your momentum waves, right? So this could continue to play out. However, if this VWAP decides to round off on to the upside on Sunday night, it may be able to give us a little bit of a bounce off this value area low. Now, one thing to realize that we are still below our 200-week moving average. We have closed that weekly candle, and we may be closing a second weekly candle below that level, which would be somewhat alarming. But as you guys know, we've looked back at times like this and times like this, where we have actually broken that 200-day moving average, or 200-week moving average, before actually getting a bounce back above it. So you just don't want to get tricked, right? Just because we close one weekly candle here. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not a good sign. It's definitely more of a bearish signal, but, not really going to be panicking here. Really what I'm going to be looking for this weekend, guys, is a close of the weekly candle above this weekly level of support, which is coming in. Let me grab my horizontal ray tool with a little bit of magnet action here. And you can see if we close this candle above these body closes on the weekly, we could still be technically putting in a higher low on the higher time frames, especially because we're at a key level of support. It could give us some kind of a significant bounce. Now, I'm going to talk about those levels that we could be getting rejected from if we get that move to the upside. We have some levels up here near that 27,003, 27,004 level, as well as some more levels up here towards our value area high that we have to keep an eye on for some rejections if we do indeed get that bounce. So weekly, I would say, has more bearish signals than bullish signals. However, I just don't want everyone freaking out just because we lost that weekly moving average or that 200-week moving average, because we have closed candles below it before actually getting reversal and coming back above. But definitely more bearish than bullish on that front. And then as we work our way down the time frames here on the daily time frames, 6-day money flow definitely coming to the downside. This would indicate that this downtrend is likely to continue. However, and then the 5-day you could see here too, also getting a money flow crossover into the red, which is a pretty bearish sign. But you'll notice here the VWAPs are rolling back to the upside. So you guys want to remember, the money flow indicates the longer term trend, right? So this money flow crossover on the 5-day and the money flow coming out on your 6-day as well as the 4-day, this would indicate that the trend will likely continue in the long term. But guys, there is noise in the market that occurs. This is how price action moves. You can see we had a downtrend here, but it doesn't just go down in a straight line. You get a bing, you get a bong, you get a bing, you get a bong, you get a bing, and then you get another bing, right? But you get those ups and downs. I call this noise in the market, or ebbs and flows, or some people call it internal market structure, what have you. But these little moves are not indicated necessarily by the money flow, but the overall trend is indicated by the money flow, and you can see that right here. See, your money flow crosses over into the green, and this was letting you know that, it was likely that an uptrend in the macro was likely to start, because a 4-day money flow crossover is nothing to mess around with. Remember, the higher the time frame, typically the stronger the signal. So you can see the money flow crosses over into the green here, and that indeed did start the uptrend. You had a low, a high, a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and if we close this candle above this line here that I just made at about $25,594, that could technically put in another higher low to get another bounce. But because money flow is coming out, I would actually lean towards that bounce, potentially giving you a lower high before continuing your move to the downside to make a new low. So that's kind of my general sentiment on Bitcoin in the long term or medium term. So it's not impossible to get a local bounce here, but because of the money flow on the higher time frames, it's kind of hasn't changed, right? I would be expecting this to be a lackluster bounce before putting in a lower high and continuing to the downside. So, and again, I think this bounce isn't unlikely because our VWAPs are coming up on these daily time frames. The money flow is coming out, but the VWAPs are coming up, indicating a short-term bounce, but only to be a lower high to continue that downtrend. So moving on down these time frames, 3-day money flow crossed over into the red, but again, your VWAP is crossing up. So again, that would indicate a potential bounce, but the money flow would indicate the downtrend will continue, also in line with our higher time frame analysis. 2-day is printing that green dot, right? Double green dot. And I mean, obviously this isn't a signal that we're just going to moonshot, but this is kind of the start of, obviously this is likely to leak into the 3, the 4, and the 5-day eventually. So this, again, kind of my sentiment here is a bounce may be likely to happen here, but I wouldn't be looking for it to make you a new yearly high. I would actually be making it, looking for it to move, to give you that lower high. And again, I don't want to beat a dead horse here. I think we understand. Now, real quick, I'm going to do the local analysis. Well, actually, we'll take a look at the moves to the upside that we may be able to reject if we get that move up. And then I'll go to the local analysis and let you guys know kind of like in the more short term what I would expect the actual price action to look like. But before we start looking at the levels to the upside, I want to show you guys some things between some really specific time frames here. The 12, the 16, and the daily is looking like, obviously, our 12-hour is printing a red dot. Our 16-hour is printing, or was printing a red dot. It has unprinted at this point, but this is likely to print very soon. So on top of that, your daily VWAP is rolling over. So I do think that locally, we may be able to deviate from this range low one more time before we get those higher daily time frame green dots to give us a significant move up. So locally, what I would be looking for here, guys, now again, no guarantees. Obviously, TA is going to be just a game of probabilities, but if we go ahead and pull this local range here, come down to a lower time frame such as the 1 hour, we do have some signals that we may be able to get either another move to the downside. You can see we did have this 1 hour bullish divergence with our lower lows on our price action into the value area low with our bullish with our higher lows on our momentum waves, giving us that bullish divergence, giving us that bounce. So if this does wind up continuing this does continue to give us a move up, the next level I would be looking at, guys, is going to be the POC and the value area high. So locally, I am going to continue to look for this area of balance or volume profile, or simply put, just range. I will be looking for this to continue to be that area of balance we may just keep on respecting, right? And then until we either get a deviation to the downside or a deviation to the upside, that is where I am expecting the action to happen. And when we come on up, so locally, not impossible to kind of just bing bong and respect the range, but when we come up to the 12 and the 16 hour, looking to print those red dots, well, printing on the 12-hour, looking to print on the 16-hour. What I'm looking for here, guys, is something very specific. As we are kind of coming down here, you can see our red dot on the 12-hour does have the potential possibility to push us a little bit lower. But if we do deviate from the bottom of this range, below this level at about 25,800, I'm not going to get instantly bearish, because what I will be looking for at that time is a potential move below that deviation, below that value area low. And what this will open up the door for is a lower low on price action and you could see the way this momentum wave is forming. It could be setting up to give us some kind of a beautiful bullish divergence if we get another move below this level. So not going to be instantly panicking if we break this level. I'll actually be looking for price to come down, make that lower low, and then really looking for the bullish divergence, not only on the 12-hour, but we could potentially print this on the 10-hour. as well as the 8-hour. I'm going to be looking at these bullish divergences forming on the medium to higher hourly time frames to signal a bigger move to the upside. And because right now, the local price action, guys, is kind of what's hard to predict. I don't know if we're going to hold support on this value area low and get a move up, and then that 2-day green dot confirms, the 3-day green dot starts to print. But with the way the 12, 16-hour and daily VWAP coming down, with all this in mind, I wouldn't be surprised if we get another push below this range, but if we do, we're going to be keeping an eye out for these bullish divergences to signal that big bounce. And then maybe at that point, you could also find this daily bullish divergence as well. We could be setting up for something like that to present itself. And if we get that, we talked about this yesterday, that will be a much stronger signal that we're going to get a significant bounce to the upside. So that's kind of what I'm looking at as far as scenarios if we get a push down. But there's no guarantees we're going to get that move, guys. It is a little bit hard to read right now just because money flow is a little bit all over the place on a lot of the medium time frames. So if we get that deviation, not panicking, looking for those bull divs, and then eventually, once we get that 2-day green dot confirmed, as long as that daily red dot sorts itself out, by the time that this 2-day red dot winds up, or 2-day green dot winds up confirming, maybe we'll have a little bit of clarity on that 12, 16 hour and daily before actually getting the move. But once that 2-day green dot confirms, that 3-day green dot starts printing, I think that's likely where you'll see a significant move up. And if we get that significant move up, what I'm going to be looking for is the same levels we looked at on the previous live streams, right? So let me go ahead and pull up our levels here. And these are going to be the main levels, guys. Remember, you still have this 200. I'm actually going to move this. You still have your 200-day moving average sitting here at about $27,400. You also have your golden pocket 786 retracement level. Now, keep in mind, this is a local retracement level, not the retracement level of the entire move from the high here to the absolute low. This is a local retracement level. However, when paired with that 200-day moving average, could wind up being a strong level of resistance. So plan remains the same that we were talking about yesterday, on the live stream, is going to be once we get that move to the upside. If we do, this is going to be the first area I am looking for bearish confirmations for a strong rejection. Now, I will say the 200-day moving average is the strongest level within here. This Fibonacci retracement level is local. So it's not that it's not going to be respected, but you have to realize that the more likely place to get a strong rejection from really would be this golden pocket, as this is the golden pocket retracement from this swing high all the way for this entire move down. But it's hard to say because we may wind up losing this 200-day moving average. This is definitely going to be a big level to watch, but more because of the 200-day moving average than the Fibonacci golden pocket 786 retracement level. Now, if we do wind up continuing up here, I will be looking at this Bybit POC at about $28,000. Not only is it a POC, but it's also a psychological level of resistance, being that even $28,000 level. If we get above there, same plan as last time, guys, or yesterday. If we get above that, we are going to be looking up towards that value area high POC golden pocket confluence, in which I don't know if we're going to be able to get over that 200-day moving average. So these are all very, very key levels. But if we get up here and money flow on the higher daily time frames is still not looking bullish and looking very bearish, this could be a very, very big area to reject from. But I do just want to give you guys a word of caution. I don't know. It doesn't seem like we have a lot of roadblocks on the way up here. I don't know if we're going to get the opportunity to get all the way back up here. So I would really be looking at these as multiple levels to put in those lower highs before continuing to the downside. And remember, the reason that we're not looking for a massive bet the farm long position to just yeet up to 100K is because of the higher time frame money flow, letting us know that the macro environment may start to turn more bearish as a longer term trend. And again, the trend is your friend, right? You don't want to trade against the trend. You're going to be a little bit more greedy with the shorts, or I'm going to be a little bit more greedy with the shorts and conservative with the longs, as long as that higher daily time frame money flow is coming out. So what happens if we don't wind up getting a move up here? Or what if we just break down from here? Or even what if we get a shot up to this level and then break down to where are those next key levels we want to be keeping our eye on? Let's say we can't get back above the 200-day moving average and we just start to reject and we start a bigger downtrend in the macro. Well, simply put, our levels still remain the same, right? We're going to open up this lower range. This is going to be the next key levels I'm watching, right? And it's going to start off here at the golden pocket value area high confluence at between about, let me go ahead and get this exact level for you, $24,283 and $23,866. If we come back down here, this is going to be the first major level I'd be looking for support. Not only is it a golden pocket, but it's also your previous value area high from this range. And then as always, this value area high is not only going to let us know that this could be an area we bounce on, but it will also let us know and give us context into what will likely happen if we lose this level. So if we wind up coming down and getting stuck below that value area low, this is where I would expect to fill the rest of this range and maybe start finding a new area of balance down here in this old value area. So that is going to simply put, guys, I want to keep this to a little bit more of a shorter market update because I am running out of time. And I just don't want to overcomplicate things because not much has happened. We got the big move down last Thursday, and we've basically just been ranging sideways on our key level of support, which is that value area low. So I'll just go ahead and, just put these levels on the screen for anybody who might want to keep an eye on them. You could screenshot it right here. But those are going to be the levels not only to the downside, but also to the upside. And not only that, but context into where price will go if any of these levels are broken, right? Because we are just really looking at the market in terms of ranges. So, and then again, locally, what I'm looking for is to see where this 12-hour red dot brings us and if it can give us that bullish divergence, letting us know that there is going to be a decent shot to come up. But again, I'm not going to be longing this 1-hour bull div that I just showed you guys right here with the lower lows on price action and higher lows on momentum waves. I'm not longing this hoping for higher prices just because of the way that 12 and 16-hour look with the fresh red dots. It's likely that this will continue to add a little bit more selling pressure on the market. So really going to be kind of sitting on my hands. As you guys know, I do like to try to take the weekends off, at least a majority of the weekend off. So I am going to be sitting on my hands. I'm going to let the weekend price action do its thing, see if we can get this momentum wave to start printing a bullish divergence, in which case, in hindsight, if we do get a slightly lower low and we do get a bullish divergence on a time frame like the 12 or 16 hour, this will look very similar to a lot of deviations we've had in the past below this level before coming back up and attacking the high. But remember, we're not necessarily expecting this to bring us to the high because money flow is coming out. You can see in this situation back here, we were actually putting in bullish divergences. Now, not necessarily on the 12-hour, but we had bullish divergences back here, I believe, on the 4-hour, and a lot of other time frames like the 6-hour, the 8-hour, I think, had them. But the reason why we're treating this one different is because you can see back here, we had the bullish divergences on the medium hourly time frames. Again, not this time frame, but the other ones I just showed. But money flow was coming up, indicating that if we got above here, money flow would likely cross into the green, making it a stronger case to come all the way up to the high of the range. But here we simply do not have that. We have money flow coming out on the 12-hour, and even worse, we have the higher time frame money flow coming out, crossing over into the red. And granted, back here, we actually were doing something very similar, crossing into the red, and it was really just a fake out, which you always have to be careful of, but we have spent a decent amount of time in the green here for the most part, so I wouldn't be surprised if this isn't a fake out. So that's kind of the theory and reasoning behind my theses, guys, or thesi. But guys, I think that's all the time we got for today's little fake out premiere live stream. I appreciate everybody for being here, and again, I apologize for not being able to go live tonight, but it's just simply put, life happens sometimes, and there's just some things that are out of my control. But one thing you can count on me for, guys, I will never, ever, ever leave you guys stranded. I will always do my best. I don't care if I'm recording on a flip phone, just voicing the TA to you guys. I will always make sure that you guys are getting this information. It's very rare that I cancel a live stream and don't put out any content, but it does really eat me up inside when I can't go live, mostly because it's my favorite part of the day. Even on Friday, it's not like I want to just go home and hang out with my friends. Like, you guys are my friends, and that's why I love doing these live streams, and I never miss them. But thank you guys for watching. Smash that like button. Like I said, all the likes. If we get 550 likes on today's live stream, by the time the video ends, I will go ahead and add 10 spins to the wheel next week. And regardless of that, however many hundreds of likes we get, we will add those spins to next week's giveaway anyway. But guys, I think that's all the time I got for today's live stream. I might just start holding the microphone. Normally, you guys know I usually just play with the microphone anyway. Might as well just hold it in my hands. But thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you guys from the bottom of my heart. Like I said, you guys really had me like choked up in that banter stream when I rewatched it. All the candles in chat. It's the coolest thing in the world. I love each and every single one of you guys. It's why I show up for you guys every single day, or I try to, at least in some form or fashion. So thank you for everything you guys do for us here at the Frankie Candles YouTube channel. I love all of you. That's all the time I got for today's video. I'll see you guys on Monday. Different place, same time, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right after ATB. Shout out to my boy DZ. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. It's actually, you guys are seeing this after 5:45. It's already 5:51. Bing bong. Hasta pasta, guys.
Get my cash right, cause I spent it all last night. Said I'm good to go, only if the bag right. Hit it, then you know I gotta do the dash right. Told her how I'm living, welcome to the fast life. Get my cash right, cause I spent it all last night. Said I'm good to go, only if the bag right. Hit it, then you know I gotta do the dash right. Told her how I'm living, welcome to the fast life. It's the life I chose, living on the road. Let's go take a trip, got a couple shows. We don't even vote, but you know we taking polls. I don't ever stay in place, girl, I gotta go. Get my bag though, I don't even got a pack though. They don't even know me, come and leave through the back though. Ass whoa, they been living hella fast though. When they hit the brakes, that's when I go and hit the gas though. Don't get too attached, cause you know that I can't stay. Yeah, I hit the road, I don't even need a place. Life is like a phase, got a lot up on my plate. Finish that tomorrow, cause I gotta live today. Get my cash right, cause I spent it all last night. Said I'm good to go, only if the bag right. Hit it, then you know I gotta do the dash right. Told her how I'm living, welcome to the fast life. Get my cash right, cause I spent it all last night. Said I'm good to go, only if the bag right. Hit it, then you know I gotta do the dash right. Told her how I'm living, welcome to the fast life.
Fast life, new chains. Shout out to Kicks and Dale. Y'all better wish me well. Too sick on a different trail. You know how I get down when it comes to the bag. When it comes to the raps, gotta pick up the racks. I'm running them laps, good ass weed. Waiting on me at the spot. Promoters, they loving a nigga, they send a deposit, I'm sending the drops. I'm running around with the baddest, she get the fetty and I get the why. Business on the scene, might like the doors, I'm fucking the shop. The money is out of my range, need to hit the foreign exchange. Turn this cash to USD, right before I hit my plane. That's when I butter my drinks, then I convert and wrote my verse to this. Right after my champagne, I'm counting my money like damn, I work for this. Woo, now I'm landing, left you where you standing. Guess who still can't trust these hoes, I live with my bandit. I got shit to do, you can't fuck up my planet. If I wanna see tomorrow, then I gotta let it bang.
Get my cash right, cause I spent it all last night. Said I'm good to go, only if the bag right. Hit it, then you know I gotta do the dash right. Told her how I'm living, welcome to the fast life.